Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. It's Brandon with Campbell Fitness, and today I'd like to talk about the Paleolithic, Paleo, or Caveman diet. All the same things, just different names for it. The reason I want to talk about this today is oftentimes I get asked by you guys about different dieting protocols out there. Now I know the big rage recently has been intermittent fasting, but right behind that I would say probably is paleo dieting. This is something that's gained a lot of popularity lately, and I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk about what it is briefly and my opinion on it. Now with most of my videos, you'll know that I try to keep these pretty short and to the point. Because of that, I sometimes have the tendency to oversimplify things. So with this subject and any other subject that I do a video on, if you want to find out more about it, I really highly suggest you do a little bit of your own research, as that's a great way to not only educate yourself, but find out more information about other topics that you're interested in, instead of just taking it from a YouTube video like the one you're watching right now. So as the name implies, the paleo or caveman diet is meant to emulate our diets from 10,000 plus years ago, before the real big agriculture boom. And the line of thought behind this process is back then, when our diets were simply made up of meats, fruits, and vegetables, we didn't see a lot of the same health issues that we see in society today, like obesity, high blood pressure, cancer, and numerous other diseases. So the line of thought is if I eat like a caveman did back before these problems existed, I myself will be able to avoid these issues. Now the big problem with this is a lot of these ideas go largely unfounded. And what I mean is correlation does not necessarily imply causation. Yes, 10,000 years ago, we didn't have a lot of dairy products. We didn't have access to rice and other grains and cereals. However, just because we have that today doesn't necessarily mean you can avoid some of the other issues you'll see. The reason being is there's a lot more pieces to the puzzle. A lot of things has changed in the last 10,000 years, and it's really unfair to simply attribute these diseases to certain food types. So that brings up the question, is paleo dieting effective? And in my opinion, yes it is. However, my reasoning for saying it's effective probably differs from someone who's actually doing the paleo diet. While their reasoning is probably because you're removing all these toxic foods, so to say, my reasoning behind it is because anytime that you do any diet where you're restricting the types of food that you can eat, you're basically doing just a glorified calorie restrictive diet. So let's say the average person is on somewhere around a 50% carbohydrate diet. Most of those carbs coming from sources like cereal, grains, rice, beans, processed foods, all of which are outlawed on a paleo diet. If that person were then to switch to a paleo diet full time, thus eliminating almost 50% of their total caloric intake, yes, of course they will lose weight. Anytime you restrict food, you're also restricting calories. If you're taking in less calories than you were before on a consistent basis, you will lose weight. It's simple enough. Now the paleo dieting claims this is because you're eliminating toxic foods, when in reality it's just because you're simply reducing caloric intake. Again, if you have a diet where the only foods you can really eat are lean meats, fruits, and vegetables, that could get pretty bland, and people will have the tendency to not eat as much of those, which then in turn again will usually cause them to lose weight. Some people that the paleo diet can really be beneficial for are those that tend to overeat or binge on a lot of these outlawed overprocessed foods, because what they're doing by removing them from their diets is thus reducing or restricting overall caloric intake, which again will yield some kind of weight loss. So can the paleo diet be effective? Yes, it definitely can. Is it optimal? In my opinion, it's not. I don't like any diet that severely restricts the foods you can eat. I believe that leads to a lot of binging and cheating and not a lifetime change, which most diets should be. Should be a lifestyle and not a short-term thing that you do. So for most people, I don't think it's very realistic or optimal. However, only you can really make that decision for yourself. I hope this video helps answer some questions or shed some light on the diet. But as always, everybody, thanks for watching and stay big.